Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Before we jump in, let me ask you something. Imagine this. It's 2 a.m., your phone is blowing up, customer can't log in, your app is down, so your team jumps on a call. So someone checks the server and finds the CPU is fine, memory looks fine, but your app is still broken. Nobody knows why. Sounds familiar? This is exactly the problem observability solves. And no, observability is not just monitoring with a fancy name. There's a real difference, and today I am going to break it down for you. So, whether you are just starting out or you have been building systems for years, by the end of this video, you will understand what observability really means, why it matters, and which tool actually gets the job done. So, let's get into it. So, let's start with the basics. A lot of people use monitoring and observability like they mean the same thing, but they are not. Monitoring is like having a dashboard in your car. It tells you the speed, fuel level, engine temperature, etc. So it answers the question that you already know to ask, like, is the CPU too high or is the disk full? So these kind of things. So observability goes deeper. It's like being a mechanic who can listen to the engine, check every wire, and figure out what's wrong, even when the dashboard says everything is fine. So it helps you answer questions you didn't know you needed to ask. So in technical terms, observability is the ability to understand the internal state of the system by looking at what it produces from the outside. So it comes from the control theory in engineering, and it's built upon three main pillars. So the first pillar is logs. Think of logs as a diary your application writes. Every time something happens, a user logs in, a payment fails, an error pops up, it gets written down. So logs are great because they give you a detailed event level information. But here's the catch. When you have hundreds of services producing millions of logs, finding the right one is like searching for a needle in a haystack. So that's where tools like ELK stack comes in. So Elasticsearch stores and searches logs, okay, and Logstash processes them, and even Kibana lets you visualize them. So it is a powerful combo. So let's go to the next metrics, which is the pillar. So metrics are the numbers measured over time. Things like CPU usage, request count, error rate, response time. So they are lightweight, fast to query, and perfect for the setting up alerts. So the go-to open source stack here is the Prometheus and Grafana. Prometheus scrapes the metrics from your services at regular intervals and stores them as a time series data. And Grafana sits on top and gives you a beautiful real-time dashboard. So let me give you a pro insight. If you are doing this at scale, look into the red method for services like the rate, errors, and durations. And for infrastructure, you can use method, USE method, like utilization, saturation, and errors. So these give you a structured way to think about what metrics actually matters. Now let's go to the third pillar, which is distributed traces. This is where it gets really interesting. Like in a microservice setup, a single user request might hop through 10 to 15 different services. So if something slows down, how do you figure out which service is the bottleneck? So here traces solves this. So trace follows one request across every service it touches. Okay, and records the time spent at each step. So each step is called span. So imagine if you are if the user clicks on buy now, okay, the trace shows you the API gateway took 5 milliseconds, The auth service took 20 milliseconds. The payment service took 800 milliseconds. Boom. Now you know the exact problem where it is. Uh, Comment in the chat which pillar do you use the most in your work, like log, metrics, or traces? Let me know. Let's move on to the next section, which is open telemetry. So you can see here. Now, here's the thing. In the real world, you are not just picking up one pillar. You need all the three working together, and that's where open telemetry comes in. So this is a big deal, so pay attention. So open telemetry, or OTel for short, is an open source project backed by Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So it gives you a single vendor neutral way to collect logs, metrics, and traces from your application. So why does this matter? Before OTel, if you are using Datadog, your code had Datadog specific libraries backed in. If you wanted to switch to Grafana, Cloud, or New Relic, you had to rip out all the code and start over. So that's a nightmare. So with OpenTelemetry, you instrument your code once, then you can send the data to any backend, Datadog, Grafana, Jaeger, whatever you want. So it's like using a USB-C cable instead of 10 different charges. So let me explain about the OTel collector. So OTel collector is the heart of the setup. It has the pipeline with three stages. That is receivers that takes the data in from your apps, like from Prometheus, from Kafka, wherever. And processor can filter, batch, or transform the data. And in the end, there is exporters that sends it to your chosen backend. So it is modular, it's flexible, and it's becoming the industry standard. So if you're building anything new today, start with OpenTelemetry. Seriously, future you will thank present you. So let me deep dive in the tools. So I'm going to give you a quick and honest breakdown of major players so you know what to pick based on your situation. So the first tool I want to discuss is Prometheus and Grafana, which is best for metrics, alerting, like Kubernetes native setups. The strengths are it is free, huge communities there. PromQL is very powerful through which we carry through that. And the only drawbacks are like it has no native log or traces. So and even scaling needs Thanos or Cortex. So next, let us jump to the ELK stack. So in this, the log aggregation is there. Okay, it's best for the log aggregation, full text search. Okay, it has a powerful search, flexible, great for compliances. It is very good. But we need to watch out for resource hungry tuning. Elasticsearch is very complex. So next comes Datadog. So Datadog is an all-in-one platform and it can be used for the enterprise teams by enterprise teams. The strength is it has a unified view, APM plus logs plus metrics, and it is very easy to set up. But the problem here is that it is expensive at scale. Vendor lock-in risk is there. So next comes New Relics. So in the New Relic, it is a full stack visibility is there. It has free tiers available also. It has generous like free plans. Even NRQL query languages has good UI also. It has. But the cost spikes with data volume and there's a very steep learning curve. And next comes the OpenTelemetry. So it is vendor neutral. Instrumentation layer is there. So this is the instrumentation layer that is vendor neutral. So no lock-in. So works with any backend and even CNCF backed is. And only thing that we need to watch out for is it has not a storage or UI tool. So we need a separate backend. Yeah. So here's my honest take. If you are a startup or a small team and you don't want to manage infrastructure, go with Datadog or New Relic. They are expensive, but they save you time. If you want control and don't mind the setup, Prometheus plus Grafana for metrics, ELK for logs, and Jaeger or Tempo for traces is a solid open source stack. And regardless of what backend you pick, use OpenTelemetry for instrumentation. That's the one decision you won't regret. Yeah. So let me explain to you about a real world architecture. So let me paint you a picture of how these all things fit together in real production setup. So you have your microservices. Each one is instrumented with OpenTelemetry SDKs. They produce logs, metrics, and traces. All the data flow into the OTel collector, which acts as a central hub. So from this collector, metrics go to Prometheus, logs go to Elasticsearch or Loki, and traces go to Jaeger or Tempo. So Grafana sits on top of everything, giving you a single dashboard where you can jump from a metric spike to the related traces to the exact log line that shows the error. So that's the real power of observability, connecting the dots across all three pillars. And here's something that separates people who really know this stuff from the people who just read about it. So in production, you need to think about sampling. Okay, you can't store every single trace when you are handling millions of requests. So there are head-based sampling decides upfront whether to trace a request, and the tail-based sampling waits until the trace is complete and only keep the interesting ones like errors or slow requests, etc. So tail-based is better but needs more resources. So we need to know the trade-offs. So you need to, as this is a basic intro to observability. So I will take it over in the next upcoming videos. Yeah. So let's wrap up this up with key takeaways. That is one, observability is not monitoring. Monitoring tells you when something is wrong. Observability tells you why. Second thing was the three pillars are the logs, metrics, and traces. You need all these three working together, not in isolation. Three, open telemetry is the future. Instrument once, send anywhere, no vendor lock-in. Four, pick your tool based on your team size, budget, and how much infrastructure you want to manage. And five is always think about the full picture. Correlating logs, metrics, and traces is what turns data into the answers. All right, that's the deep dive. What questions do you have? Drop them in the chat and I will answer as many as I can. If it was helpful, smash a like button and subscribe. If you haven't already, I will be doing more deep dives like this on DevOps, cloud, AI, and system design. So thanks for hanging out and I'll see you in the next one.